I love looking out my dining room windows from my kitchen sink. This is the view I have most of the time. And look who was leading the pack, our newest little one. She had them all stirred up today. I love standing here watching the cows out in the pasture out in our back. I can see the cows playing and see the chickens, and anyways, I'm standing here. I was getting some dinner put together and saw that they were all running out there, and it just, it makes it easy to stand here and do dishes and cook while you get to see that out your window. So for the month of January, I wanted to challenge myself just to cook from the staples that I have in my pantry. So what I'm making today is chicken Alfredo. I'm going to make something simple into a little bit more elegant just out of the pantry staples that I have already. So let's get started. I want to heat my pan up to at least a medium-high heat. So in my pan, I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and about 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna let that lightly brown, and then I'm gonna put my chicken in my pan, and I'm going to sear it on both sides and cook it all the way through. Before I get this going on the stove, I'm gonna go ahead and get my pasta noodles going. So in my Dutch oven, I've got about 8 cups of water, and I'm gonna be putting some salt in there, and once it comes to a rolling boil, I'm gonna be adding my noodles. Let me get this on the stove, and we'll start working on our chicken. So I'm gonna turn my burner on to high, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my salt and pepper on my chicken to wash my hands off, and then I'm going to put some butter, 2 tablespoons of butter and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in my pan, and then I'm gonna brown up my chicken really well until it is completely done. It needs to be at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And I want to keep an eye on this. I want to make sure that the butter doesn't burn. And I'm going to reserve a whole stick of butter, which is a ½ cup, to make our Alfredo sauce. And our Alfredo sauce is just 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, a ½ cup of butter, or 1 stick of butter, and a cup Parmesan cheese, and that's it. You stir it until it gets thick. With a little bit of salt and pepper, you return your noodles in there and your chicken, and you've got chicken Alfredo. Super simple and easy. And it's gonna be made with what I've got that is pantry stable food. It's nice and brown, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my chicken in. And I'm gonna turn my burner down on medium. This is just for Darren and I. So this should be plenty of chicken. Put my plate in the sink and wash it up. The butter's going to give it a really good flavor. If you wanted to, you could put your chicken in the oven and finish it off. But my noodles on the stove are not going to take that long to cook. This is a really simple, easy, elegant meal that comes together pretty quickly. Now we're going to be using at least 8 cloves of garlic, finely minced, in our Alfredo sauce because the garlic is going to give it flavor. That sounds like a lot of garlic, but it's what's going to make your Alfredo sauce really yummy. That and the Parmesan cheese. I don't want to go all the way down into the meat. I just want to, so I don't want to touch the pan. 130 degrees. We have just a little bit longer to go. Let me test these other pieces. Cook these just for a little bit longer. I'm going to go put this one over by the stove and cover it so it'll stay warm. So my pasta noodles are cooking on the stove. I have 8 cups of water and 3 cups of noodles. Shouldn't take very long for those to cook at all. From your pantry with what you've got makes you feel good because you can turn something ordinary into something special and tasty. Just because you made it homemade yourself, and it doesn't take that long. Just gotta make sure that you have like things in your pantry. Like I don't have fresh garlic right now, so I'm using the dark garlic. Fresh would probably be better. I had some chicken breast fillets, noodles, heavy whipping cream, Parmesan, parsley, and that's all it basically takes. Butter, salt and pepper, and you've got chicken Alfredo. I am going to be wiping down this pan though before I put the whipping cream in here, just in case some of my bits off of my chicken. It's going to remove some of the flavor, but I don't want any of the burnt, if there's any burnt pieces of chicken into my Alfredo sauce. I'm going to cover this up, wipe my pan out, and start on the Alfredo sauce. This has had time to cool down, so I'm going to wipe the butter out of the pan. I don't want to leave any of the burned pieces of chicken or anything in there. There will be a little bit of residue of the chicken in the bottom. But for the most part, I want to get those burnt pieces out of there. So into my pan, I'm going to put a stick of butter and just a tablespoon of olive oil. Not much, just a little. I don't want my butter to get too very brown, but there is a little bit. A little stickiness from the chicken gives it some flavor. And as soon as my butter melts, and I'm going to pour in my heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to put my 8 tablespoons of garlic in there with it. The garlic's going to give it its flavor. Now I'm going to put in my Parmesan cheese. 1 cup. And this should melt pretty fast. Tablespoon of parsley. Might just do a little bit less than a tablespoon. And then my clean dish with pepper. Just a pinch. And just a pinch of salt. I'm going to taste it before you salt and pepper it too much. So into my pan, I have put half of the noodles in with the Alfredo sauce. Let me bring my chicken over here and put it in with the pasta sauce. This doesn't look like very much chicken, but with it being just the two of us, this is gonna be plenty. Okay, I got my chicken into the Alfredo sauce. I'm gonna put the lid on it and wait for Darren to get here and we're gonna eat. This doesn't look like very much chicken, but I'm only serving 2. If you need to serve more, you would want to double the recipe. God bless everybody and have a wonderful day. See you in the next video. And of course, the cook has to taste just a little bit. That's good.